Hey, it's Matt Haynes, and today I'm reviewing the Synco G2 Max wireless system, but instead of my usual hikes, I am actually doing this in the Swiss Alps. Now, the set that I'm using here, which has 2 transmitters and 1 receiver, goes for about $170, but you do have the option of buying it with just 1 transmitter and a receiver. Now, I actually attempted to record this review yesterday, but due to a couple of technical issues, I wasn't able to do it, and I mention that because yesterday I forgot and brought the wrong cable. I was trying to cut down weight in my backpack, so I just brought 1 cable and it was the wrong one. Then I thought, hey, you know what? One of the benefits of this system is that you can record internally into the transmitter. So I thought, okay, backup plan, I'll just record directly. But I discovered one little issue that turned out to make that impossible. So here I am today recording this. You have 8 gigabytes of storage in each transmitter, which is about 24 hours of recording total. Now, Synco did tell me that after 5 hours of recording an audio file, it will stop, so you have to restart, but that's a pretty rare event that you're gonna have to record 5 hours of audio continuously. And getting your audio files off the transmitter, it couldn't be simpler. There's a USB-C port on the side of the transmitter. You just plug that into your computer, and it mounts like any hard drive or thumb drive would, and you just copy your files over. Now, the sample rate is 16-bit 48K, so yes, you can find wireless systems that record at a higher bit depth than that, but that'll do for most purposes. You have 6 levels of gain adjustment, and you can adjust the gain per transmitter, which means you can, if one person is louder than the other, you can level that out just fine. And you can also adjust the gain either on the transmitters or on the receiver, which I think is really useful. Each transmitter also has a mute button. That's pretty standard. So the receiver has a number of different ways you can get the sound out of it. You've got a standard mini 3.5 millimeter jack to plug into your camera. You also have a USB-C port, which will output the audio digitally. And you also have a headphone jack, so you can monitor in real time the audio coming out in headphones. And when you have that receiver plugged into your computer, it actually acts like a little mini USB interface. You can hear playback audio from like a digital audio workstation from the headphone jack while you record with the microphone. So that's pretty powerful. You've got LED metering on both the transmitter and the receiver, so you can see how loud you are. And you have about 8 hours of battery life on all of the units. Now, it takes about 2 hours to charge each unit up. You don't have a charging case with these. However, you do have a multi-pronged cable. Basically, it's 3 leads in one, so you can plug into 1 USB port and charge up all 3 units at the same time. These units all have a clip, which is sort of a traditional way of doing wireless. However, the clips are also magnetic, so you can just kind of stick them to things, random things like, I don't know, flagpoles. This set comes with a sturdy case, and you also get a dead cat for each transmitter. And unlike some cheaper wireless systems, you have a lavalier microphone input in the transmitters, but you also get lavalier mics, and you get pop filters, and you get clips. What you don't get, though, is you don't get dead cats for the actual lav mics. I mentioned the transmitters each have recording built into them, and if you press that gain button, press and hold it for like 3 seconds, 4 seconds, you start and stop recording. These units come with noise reduction, and they have 2 levels, although if you look at the marketing from Synco, it says 3 levels. They're actually counting off as a level. So this is with no noise reduction. Now I'm going to turn on the first level. Okay, so this is the first level of noise reduction, and there we go with the second noise reduction level, and there's, I think, some Swiss Air Force jets flying around in the background, and we should be back to no noise reduction. My family has been very patient with me as we've been hiking, but I think it's time I went and caught up with them.
Okay, before I tell you about how I feel about the Synco system, there's a couple other things I want to cover. Now, the first thing is I wanted you to have something to compare to. So right now you're listening to the Røde Go II wireless system. Very similar size and shape. A lot of the Synco features seem to be matched up against the Røde system. Obviously the price is different, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Also, you might notice that my voice sounds pretty crunchy. Near the end of my trip to Switzerland, I caught COVID and it just totally trashed my voice. So several weeks later, I'm finally able to film again, but it does sound a little funny. So again, you're listening to the Rode Go II Wireless as, just something to compare with the Synco system. Now we're back to the Synco system, but this time you're listening to the lavalier microphone, because I think for many people, that could be a decisive factor. A lot of wireless systems have a microphone input, but most of them don't come with actual lavalier microphones. So this is what the lavalier microphone sounds like. So I mentioned also that there was a problem in Switzerland where I couldn't record on the first day, so I had to do it on the second day instead. And the problem was partly that I brought the wrong cable, but also I had thought to myself, hey, I can record using the recording inside the transmitter. Why don't I just do that? I'll turn the receiver off since I can't use it. I'll record to the transmitter and I'll sync up the audio later. What I discovered though was that if you have the receiver turned off, the transmitter doesn't show you any audio level. So I couldn't tell if it was actually recording, if there was any audio going into it or not. So maybe I should have left the receiver on and just not had it plugged in, but I didn't think of that at the time. So be aware that if you have the transmitter turned on and the receiver turned off, the level meters don't work. All right, so what do I think about the Synco system? Well, I brought the Rode Go II system out specifically because I think Synco is aiming their sights squarely on the Rode Go II system. Same size, same shape, many of the same features, a couple of different features. In terms of sound quality, if you've watched any of my other wireless mic reviews, I'm often complaining about the Rode Go II system because it sounds kind of thin. There's not a lot of low end. The Synco system is kind of in the opposite direction. It's almost like there's not a lot of high end. So in terms of sound quality, neither one is perfect. I mean, I think it comes down to personal preference about which one you think sounds better. Now, obviously there are pretty significant differences. The main one being the cost. I mean, the Rode Go II system is $300. The Synco system is $170. Also, while they both record internally, the Synco system only has 24 hours of storage, and the Rode system, I believe, has 40. And then I think this might be a big deal for some people. The Rode system is 24-bit, the Synco system is 16-bit. Personally, I don't find that to be a big deal as long as it's recording at a proper level, but that'll bother some people. But again, think about the price difference. And then of course you got to remember the advantages that the Synco system has over the Rode system besides just the price. And that would be, the included lavalier microphones and also the two-stage noise reduction, which the Rode system doesn't have. So if you're looking for a system that's way more affordable than the Rode system, has most of the features of it, and comes with lavalier mics, I think the Synco system is a pretty good bet.